Hey folks, it's Big Lou here with you once again on Shooting the Shit. As we're gonna shoot a little bit of shit here and talk some music, and we're also gonna talk about what's going on in the world today. She's got a brand new album that's out that's went from number 9 to number 3 and soon to be number 1. Church House Blues. I'm gonna welcome as my guest today. We're gonna have Crystal Shawanda here on the Shooting the Shit. And Friday, I just want to let you know that we have the Mike Mills Band will be joining us Friday at 2 p.m. So I'm going to bring Crystal on here right now, and we're going to shoot the shit a little bit. What's going on? There she is. Crystal, how are
Hey,
you?
I'm doing
For,
great. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. For those of you that don't know, Crystal is my adopted cousin by not my blood, but by heart. And she's
Yeah.
got a brand new album out that's kicking ass. She's unfortunately stuck right now where she can't come down here and perform for you guys. Where are you at right now?
I am way up in Canada. I'm on Weequampong Reserve, which is my hometown up on Manitoulin Island. It's where I grew up, and yeah, this is where we were when the whole pandemic went down, and so we felt it was the border closed. So here we are, and we felt it was safe to stay still, and I feel like I'm in the safest place I could be right now. So I'm just thankful for that.
Nothing like being at home with mom and dad, huh? It's a
Yeah,
safe place.
definitely. We're camped out with my parents, and they love it. My mom loves it that she has us there, and our little girl loves it. She gets to be with her grandparents every day, so she's living her best life right now on the rest. They
So,
spoil her every day. It's awesome.
what horrible timing, huh? You just released a kick-ass CD. And I was telling you earlier when Dwayne, who's Crystal's husband, Dwayne Strobel, who helped produce the album, would send me clips and samples. And I was like, wow, this is good. Wow, this is really good. Wow, this is great, Dwayne. Then he finally said, Lou, this is it. This is the final. Here, check this out. And I was lucky enough to say that I had it on the station probably a few weeks before everybody else did. And I was playing, and I was like, this stuff is really amazing. Um,
Thank
Church House
you.
Blues came out, debuted at number 9 on the Roots
Yes.
rating, and it's crawled up to number 3. And for
Yes.
those of you that know, it's got a little green arrow, which means it's climbing, and soon to be number 1, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Uh, but it's an amazing project. How long did it take you guys to put this? I know the answer because I was anticipating for the longest. How much work and what kind of effort did you guys put into this album?
Oh, it's when we first started out. It's funny, we actually originally planned to release the album about a year ago, um, but we ended up, as we were working on the album, we handed in songs to the label, my label, True North Records, that we were signed with, and we would hand in songs to them, and originally we had planned to put half the songs were going to be cover songs and the other songs were going to be songs we wrote, but all the songs we handed in, they ended up liking the songs that we wrote more. So the album kind of changed. It's so we've been working on it for about 2 years, and but we didn't want to rush it. We trusted our label, and they kept saying we feel like you're onto something with these songs you're writing. So we just did more writing and kept handing in the songs, and the album took on a whole different shape, and we realized that the delay was for the better. And I mean, it's a little bittersweet right now that we're releasing it, we're getting great reviews and everybody loves it, but we can't go out and play the music for people, which is a bit of a bummer. But we're just grateful that Blues Radio is playing the music, and we're just thankful everybody likes what we've put into it, because it was, we weren't in a rush. We weren't trying to, like, oh, we got to get something out there. For us, it was, we just wanted to make something great and something that we could be proud of, something that we love and would love performing every night. And so yeah, so we're just thankful.
I will say that as a radio station, we get CDs all the time, and you listen to the whole CD, and you'll say a couple of songs in the CD are good. I'll say that every track on there is worth giving your ear to because me knowing you, knowing the person that you are, I could tell the emotion behind the song. And even if my wife that really doesn't know you, she says, "Wow, she's got a lot of emotions in her music." and you can feel the emotions on the whole CD. Not just one
Oh
track, not
wow.
just two tracks. You feel all the emotion that you put from your heart into your vocals into every song.
Oh wow. Thank you so much for that, Lou. Thank you. That was our goal. That was what we were after. We're not we didn't want to make create an album where we're just trying to create a few singles for radio. We want it's a body of work, and that's how I look at everything I do. Is I'm building something. It's not just one album. It's every album I do. But with this album in particular, I wasn't worried about fitting in. I wasn't trying to have anybody's approval. I just wanted to make music I loved, that I believed in. So all these songs, this is stuff I've been through. This is where I've been, this is where I'm going. And I love to make my albums like an emotional roller coaster ride, because because that's what life is. And when I go to a concert, I want to feel happy, I want to feel sad, I want to cry, I want to laugh, I want to dance. And so that's what I tried to put in this album, because I think for me, music is a release. And I think for a lot of people out there who love listening to music, it's a release for them too. And that's what's it's kind of like cheap therapy. So that's what I really try to put on my albums. There's those songs that are going to let you cry it out, and then there are those songs that are going to pick you back up, and you're going to be ready to face another day.
Now there's 10, 11 tracks, let's say. Um, when you finally narrowed it down to the tracks that were going on this CD, which was the one track that you said that's going to be a hit?
Well, I don't know if I ever said that's going to be a hit, because I find I'm not really good at picking hits. I tend to like the album cuts. But the one song that I fought for was a song on the album called New Orleans is Sinking.
My
And I had to
favorite.
and I had to fight. Yes, I had to fight for that one, just because not everybody got it. Like, some people on my team were like, "Well, that's not a blues song," and the song is actually a cover of a Canadian rock band called A Tragically Hip. And so they were like, "Why would you want to put this song on this album? You're having a hard enough time as it is getting people to, believe in you as a blues artist. Switching over from another genre." And I was like, because I feel this song so much. This song is a soundtrack to my misspent youth. It's an ode to my country, my home country where I'm from. And it's an ode to how I grew up, where I grew up, my friends that I grew up with. They were like my family. And we were survivors of sorts, and of a crazy
But with
time in our life.
with that with that being said, though, the blues today is kind of being labeled more than the emotion behind the music, and I think the blues is more the emotion, the heart that you put behind your music is blues right there. Just your voice, your emotion, and the theme of your the way you make your arrangements is blues.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, see, that's how I feel about it. Like, for me, ever since I was a kid, when I used to listen to that song, I used to think, wow, I would love to record this song and do it like bring out all the bluesy undertones that are there, because they're there. They just
Hmm.
needed to be highlighted more. And even the song subject, he's singing about the South. And when I was a kid and I used to listen to the song, it was like he was singing about this place that I was fascinated with, and where blues music was born, the music that I love. This is where it was born, and that's what he was singing about. And so that's why I love this song. And then, so we went in the studio. We kept it really stripped down. It was just me and D Wayne on a guitar, and we had Stephen Hanner on harmonica, and Lewis Winfield on just one big bass drum. And that's how we recorded it, and Dave Rowe on the bass. So we kept it really bare, bare bones. And we wanted it to be all about the emotion that I evoke in my voice. And what I've been told about this song is that it's almost like you go through a transformation halfway through. And I was like, good, that's what I was after.
Well, you could feel, like that's what I said. You could feel pain. You could feel anger. You feel love. You take people on every emotion through that song. It's just amazing. I heard it,
Thank
and from
you.
the minute I heard it, I think I told you, wow, this is a badass song. This is it. This is the song I told you. I like
Thank
that
you.
one, and Moo's music amazing. They're
Thank
all.
you.
I mean, I can bring up the whole CD, and it's an amazing project. And
Thank you.
I think and I know you're in it for the pleasure of the music, but I'll say it's an award winning album to me. If
Oh,
I
thank
had my
you.
choice, it's just all over the. It's got everything that you need. It's a perfect recipe.
Oh, thank you.
So
Well, I appreciate that because we put all our hearts into this album, and we worked with a lot of amazing musicians and songwriters, and I feel really blessed that I also had guidance at the record label. It felt this was my first label. I mean, my first album and a few albums where I was working with a record label again. So it was really nice to have a team guiding us and just believing in us and saying, you know what, that's a good idea. And we're like, some along the way, maybe we kind of lost our confidence a little bit as songwriters, as producers, and so it felt like we've come full circle on this album. So we appreciate that, Lou. Thank you.
you're very welcome. Now, a lot of people don't know, but I do know that you guys have been locked down uh, back in your hometown in Canada since March, and we went through the tornado in Nashville. Were you guys affected at all by the tornado in Nashville?
We were lucky. The tornado completely missed our house, and but yeah, so there's been a lot of we actually were up in Canada when that happened, and we just came up to Canada to do a couple of shows. And then we were supposed to head home to Nashville, but then our little girl. She actually stuck something up her nose, so we had to take her to the hospital to get it pulled out. And then because we were at the hospital, we had to quarantine ourselves because there was a possibility of somebody who had COVID at that hospital. So we quarantined ourselves at my parents' house for 14 days. And while that was happening, they shut the U.S. border down. And we could have probably tried to fight it and tried to go home to Nashville, but at that point it was like, go home to what? Everything's shut down in Nashville. The resources already strained there from the tornadoes, and and the numbers are really high in Michigan, and we'd have to drive through Michigan to get there. So it just didn't feel safe to be traveling with our little girl under those circumstances, and so we just stayed put, and we stayed here on my hometown reserve. And my community has actually blocked the borders to come in and out, so nobody can come in and out of our community. So, and there's been no reported cases on the island where I'm from. So I kind of feel like right now this is the safest place in the world for us to be.
Okay. Well, we miss you. That's for sure.
we miss we miss
I
you
think I
too.
think I think we missed a couple shows with you so far.
Yes,
Um,
yes,
we're looking at December. I know you're back in Florida. Uh, hopefully for the Bradenton Blues Festival, and
yes.
you'll be there with Truly Braden. And we're looking forward to that. Um, any you have any? Is there any shows lined up, or has everything been canceled for the year for you? How's your
Um,
schedule looking for this year?
Well, unfortunately, our entire spring and summer tour was canceled. Pretty much all the promoters, all the festivals, they've all been postponed and pushed back. And it's the waiting game. All the promoters and bookers are telling us, we just have to wait it out. We're going to push the show back. It's still going to happen, but we just need to push them back till we see what's happening with everything. And it's a bummer. We had some really big shows lined up this spring, and we were playing some huge festivals this summer. I was opening up for some amazing people. So it's definitely, it's a hard blow. And we had a big tour set up. So at this point we're just waiting it out to see. We are talking to some people about booking shows throughout the fall and winter, but again, those are tentative. We're waiting to see, like everybody else, where things will be at that time. But we're hoping for the best. We missed the road yesterday. I got a little bummed out yesterday. I was watching a video from some live show I did, and I just started crying. I miss the energy I get from the fans. I miss the energy from the musicians I play with, and I miss my life.
I got some footage.
Like everybody, like
I
everybody
got some
else out
footage.
there.
Yeah, that's what I do. I sit in the office sometimes and I'll look at the footage of some of the shows that I've done and some of the artists that I've met. I go through pictures. I'm like, that's the part that I miss. The
Me too.
interacting.
I miss the people. I miss the energy. Ever since I was a kid, that's what it's always been about for me. Is that when I'm on stage and that energy I feel from people, there's just nothing like it on earth. And we're really grateful that people tune in whenever we do our online shows. We're very thankful for that. But at the end of the show, when it's over, I'm just like, oh man, it just doesn't feel the same. You know, you can't feel the people's energy
And
through a
yeah,
phone.
you end a song and it's like crickets after your
Yeah,
song. You're like,
right.
okay, it's a little
Totally.
strange.
It is.
Um,
Sometimes we'll just look at each other and we're like, somehow that just wasn't quite as fulfilling as it usually
but I tell
is.
you what, you can still feel the emotion behind your vocals and the songs when you're doing it, and that's the key. That's the still you can't take that away from it.
Yeah, for sure. You know.
I have a couple fans out there. Let's see, Shirley from Ennis, Texas, says hello.
Hey, Shirley.
Owen Evans from
Awesome.
Ottawa
Oh
says
yeah,
hello.
yeah. Hey, Owen.
Charlene Reed says
Awesome. Hey,
hello.
Charlene.
Let's see, Raven says hello.
Hey,
I'm not even
Raven.
gonna. You know where they're from? I can't even attempt to say it because I'll make an idiot of myself. Saskatchewan. Let's see, Sophie Lynn Brooks says hello.
Okay, okay, I see it. I'm looking at the feed here now. Okay,
Yeah,
Raven,
see,
yes, from Saskatoon. Raven from
there you go. I didn't
Saskatoon.
even want
Yeah.
to attempt it.
Yes, Saskatchewan. Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, 'cause Shirley says she loves the sound. I've been playing music for a while. I turned you on to it. But yeah, people loving the CD, man. Every time I play it either on the Facebook Live or I play it on the station, obviously, and it's getting a bunch of great feedback. And I know
Thank
other
you.
DJs that I talk to, uh, Gil Anthony. I know
Oh
he's
yeah,
been
yeah, yeah. Of
Gil's a
course.
good friend of mine, and he's been playing it. Larry List is a good friend of mine, and he's been
Awesome.
playing it down in Tampa. So it's getting a lot of play here in Florida. So I'm sure it's going to help us when all this is lifted and you're traveling back into Florida. It's going to
Well,
be great.
we appreciate that.
We miss you, Crystal. We really miss you. I know
We
Zaza's around there somewhere, and Dwayne's taking care of her, and
yeah,
we miss.
Dwayne had to take her for a little bit of a walk because she was getting a little out.
Okay,
We're
but
on my hometown reserve here, and we don't get good Wi-Fi out at my parents' house, so we had to drive into town and hijack some Wi-Fi from one of the businesses
when you
here
get
in town.
when you get to Nashville, what we'll do is we'll try another feed, and maybe we'll have you and Dwayne do a couple songs for the fans that are watching.
Oh,
And
that would be so fun. We would
we'll
love to do that.
okay, Crystal, we love you, we miss you, and hope to see you sooner than later.
Oh, thank you so much, Lou. We appreciate all the support. You've always been a huge, huge supporter of ours, and we really appreciate that and all the guidance and feedback you've given us with the music.
It's
It
only
means
gonna
so
get
much to
better.
us.
It's only gonna get better. Good people
Thank
deserve the
you.
best. All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Big hug to the family. You guys stay safe, and we'll see you shortly.
Definitely. Hey, Jesse, and thank you so much. Thanks for everybody watching. Take care, Lou. We
All
love
right.
you.
You take care of yourself. Bye bye.
All right. Bye bye.
There you go, folks. That is the one, the only Miss Crystal Shawanda that she was coming to us live uh, from her vehicle where they're stuck up in Canada making their way back. Hopefully, we'll get them back down here in Nashville in the next week or two, and when they get down, we'll have them perform a song or two live for us here on the Shooting the Shit with Big Lou. For now, I want to say thank you for stopping by. We have uh, a great show tomorrow with not tomorrow, Friday. We'll be back for you with you Friday with the Mike Mills Band, and that'll be at 2 p.m. For now, I want to say thank you very much. Peace out, folks, and take care.